What is up, everybody? Oh my gosh, it's been so long since I've been on this channel, which I apologize for. My bad. Last video I think I made was my Obi-Wan Kenobi reaction, and I was supposed to make another video and I didn't, and then here we are a year later. So, yeah. But I'm here to talk about my experience at this year's Star Wars Celebration, Europe 2023. Because guess what? I went. This has been my third celebration attending. My first one was in 2012. I went to the one in Orlando just for one day. And then in 2017, I went again, but this time for 4 days. And then last year when they announced at Anaheim that it was going to be in London, I said, you know what? I have never been to an international Star Wars celebration. I have to go. So I went and I bought my tickets and it was the best time ever. And I just have to share with you all my experience firsthand. But yeah, if you guys are new to my channel, hi, I'm Natalia. I go by The Real Jedi Princess. I am mainly active on Instagram. You'll probably see me live streaming here a lot with my friend Jim, aka Fulcrum in the Force. And yeah, so literally Star Wars Celebration is a convention that is primarily made to celebrate Star Wars. It's for all the Star Wars fans out there across the world, across the globe, coming together to celebrate Star Wars, hear new things coming out, share cosplays, meet new people, participate in competitions. It's like the coolest experience in the world. But in this year, it was in London, specifically at the Excel Center. So I have basically kind of made a little list of what I went through every single day, my pros and my cons, the things that really stood out to me. So let's get into it. Day number 1, the first day, the most overwhelming day. And since I've been to a celebration before in the past, I kind of know the first day is going to be very overwhelming. So I didn't cosplay. I didn't bring too much with me. I didn't bring a lightsaber because I didn't know if we could bring in sabers. I pretty much tried to not overwhelm myself with many things that day. But I will say when we first got there, and we tried getting there pretty early. I think we got there around already 8:45 in the morning, and it was so packed. Oh my God. It was so packed to the nines. It was overwhelming lines. And I know. I've been told multiple times that British people love a good queue, but oh my gosh, that was just so overwhelming. Because a bunch of us just trying to pack like sardines, trying to enter through security and then go into the convention hall, which was so disorganized. I have to say, it was so bad. I remember celebration in 2017. I woke up at 4:30 in the morning, got to the convention center at 5 o'clock, waited in line, did my makeup in line. I fully did a full face of makeup in line because I did not want to have to do that shit at home. And I still felt like that was much more organized than what I experienced at Excel. Literally, it was just no one was checking badges. I didn't have a lanyard because they didn't send us with one. And apparently they said we're supposed to be receiving free lanyards at Celebration. I didn't know where the hell they were giving them out. I'm like, where's these free lanyards? So literally we're going through the queue. My friend had to go pick up hers at a will call, and I'm here holding my ticket literally on my chest, and I'm like, okay, here I am. No one was scanning it. No one was checking to see if it was an active ticket. No one was checking to see if it was a legit ticket. That was scary number 1, red flag number 1 of the day. Red flag number 2 was how packed of sardines they were trying to have us all in. I am not a claustrophobic person, but I was surrounded by claustrophobic people in line. And they were trying to pack us on, and they kept saying, move forward. And I get they wanted to get as many people in there, but in doing so, there were so many people about to have a panic attack. So I was just for safety reasons, I don't think this was a good idea to do that. That was my red flag number 2. But once we got into the convention center, it was kind of like you just had to explore. Like I made sure I didn't do photo ops or meet and greets that first day because I wanted to kind of know the lay of the land, right? So I got in. First thing I noticed is that we're all trying to. The convention center is just weirdly staged. It's like the two main halls are on the left and the right, and the really big. And the way that you can actually just pass through to get from one side to the other is either you can walk through the halls themselves if you can, or you have to go through the middle. And this just caused a bottleneck of like torture for basically everybody. It was like we were all trying to like get through each other and squeeze through, and like I was like, me being short, I was able to swim through the crowd, but my tall friends were just like, oh God, we're just stuck. It was really crazy. And it got really, really hot. Like, God bless the people that were cosplaying Ewoks, Chewbacca's, Chrysanthemums, Tauntauns, like anybody that had like fur on their freaking cosplay. God bless you that first day because it was so hot. And aside from that, like the Lucasfilm panel did happen that day. I obviously didn't get into it. So if you didn't know this year's Star Wars Celebration did they implemented a system they had last year at Celebration, which was a lottery system. Pardon me, my hair's in my face. Getting used to these bangs. Which basically meant like you applied to get into this lottery for the panels, and if you got the lottery, you got into the panel. If you didn't get the lottery, you had to wait standby, which filled up very fast. So I didn't get into Lucasfilm, and I feel like I should have. I mean, I've been to a Lucasfilm panel in the past. I've been to the one in 2017. It was the best experience of my life to be in that room. But yeah, they released so much information, and it was just kind of gutting to hear it all from people outside. Be like, oh my God, did you hear that? Like did you hear about all the new Star Wars stuff and all the things that were leaked at Lucasfilm? And I was just kind of like, no, I wasn't there. So thanks for making me feel like shit. But aside from that, I mean, it was all being released also on Twitter and on Facebook and on Instagram. So it's kind of like they were still kind of releasing everything that was being talked about on like to the public. And then I think the thing that only got me really upset is they released the Ahsoka trailer at the Lucasfilm panel and not at the Ahsoka panel, which I will discuss in a few minutes. And so I was kind of gutted at that. I was just kind of like, wait, why are you showing this here? I'm supposed to see this tomorrow. Like, what am I going to be seeing tomorrow? Yeah, so that was how I felt for at least the first half of the day. It was very overwhelming, but it was really cool because I was able to meet all my online friends, which was the best experience in the morning. I was able to meet Simon, aka Sam's Nerd, Izzy, Kashyyyk Customs, Chris, the Nerd Dad, Kyberphonic, Jesse, like all my good friends that I've known and basically streamed with for basically a year now. And it was just an overwhelming experience. It was really, really cool, and so happy to actually like put, instead of us being virtual like we have been for so long, being in person, and it was so nice. And another thing from day one is the food was actually good. Like the food, I usually am skeptical about convention food because in Orlando it's like absolute trash. Like I'll always say like I'll go get Chipotle like afterwards, and I'll bring snacks throughout the day because it's expensive and it's just not worth it. But the food inside the Excel Center was actually really, really good. There were a lot of vegan options, which is really good for your vegan or vegetarian. They had kosher and halal options, which is very important because Passover was was during that time, and also Ramadan. So it's kind of like, it was really, really nice. But yeah, so that was my overwhelming first day at Star Wars Celebration. I probably ranked it in like a 7 out of 10, just because of it was just a disorganized mess from day one. But I think that's what everyone expected from day one was a disorganized mess. Now, day two was very interesting because, so like I said, I got into the Ahsoka panel, but instead of it being on the Celebration stage, I was in one of the streaming stages. I was at the Galaxy stage. And what I assumed is that if you had the QR code for the streaming stages, you would have a separate line to get into the convention center so you can attend your panel, so you can get into the panel. No, unless you're in the main celebration stage, you cannot get in the separate line. You have to wait in the general queue, which is the thousands of people waiting ahead of you to get into the convention center. And I'm just like, great. I got here an hour before. We're now at 15 minutes before the Ahsoka panel is supposed to begin, and my ass is still not inside the convention center. I was like freaking the hell out. My friend Anna was next to me. She goes like, we got to get in. And I said, I know. And they finally let us in. Literally, I think at like 10:53, we were getting in, and we had to like run. Like we were running past all these people. And thankfully, like we're two short girls. Like I'm 5 feet, she's 4'11". I grabbed her hand and we hit it off. And we literally made it with minutes to spare. And then on top of that, we had to find seats inside the streaming stages. And since we're two short girls, we had to find seats behind people that wasn't going to cover our vision. So yeah, that was kind of crazy to get into that. That kind of like dimmed my day a bit. And I actually was going to be very like scared that if we didn't get there in time, that they were going to turn us away. But thankfully, like we made it in. But the good parts of the day was the Ahsoka panel. I got to see the cast of Ahsoka, Jon Favreau, Dave Filoni, Chopper in person. Oh my God, you're just such a good times. Like if you're a Rebels fan, if you're a Clone Wars fan, if you're an Ahsoka fan, which I am, and if you follow me and you follow my account and you've seen my Instagram and you've seen me on lives before, you know Ahsoka is one of my favorite characters of all time in Star Wars. And it was just so great. Oh, it was so good. And then they released the big one. They released the big kahuna. They released the big trailer that only people in that room was going to see, so all the people who saw the Ahsoka trailer prior, so the day before, and then of course for the world seeing the Ahsoka trailer worldwide, they didn't get to see this trailer. It's the same exact trailer, but it was like recut into different parts. And we got to see our man Thrawn in person, in the flesh. Like flesh. I saw Thrawn. I saw his face on screen. I didn't see the back of his head. It was really, really cool, and like just made everything feel so good. It just all the good vibes. But yeah. So after the Ahsoka panel was done, I did have 2 photo opportunities. I had one with Gwendoline Christie and I had one with Hayden Christensen. And I was in cosplay that day, so I was cosplaying my Empress Malka Ren, which I'll probably put up here. And I was freaking out because Gwendoline Christie, number 1, Game of Thrones, number 2, Wednesday Addams, number 3, she's a beautiful babe. And then of course Hayden Christensen. I'm a prequels girl. I'm a prequels girly. I grew up with the prequels. They're my favorites. So getting to meet him in person, it was just so surreal. It was the best thing ever. And we were in and out of there pretty fast. Like the queue was not long. From my appointment time to the time I left, I think was like a few minutes. So that was kind of the pros. The cons were like we could barely say a word to them. We could barely hug them. We can barely touch them. It was kind of like very impersonal. It's kind of like I felt like a meet and greet at Disney World that was just trying to go really, really fast. So like and it was kind of disappointing because like I spent about like a lot of money to meet them. So it's kind of like don't know if I'll do photo ops in the future, but I'll probably do autographs. I would probably want to get their autograph if anything. And then my other pros for the day is like I did my first cosplay, so that was fun. But once again, they did not check badges. I kid you not, the entire time, no one checked badges. No one checked to see if my ticket was a legit one, that it was active. It was so like we spent hundreds of dollars on our tickets, and I'm just like, no one's checking these badges. This is very frustrating. Now we're on to day 3. So I mean, before we get to day 3, I'm ranking Saturday as a 9 out of 10 because Ahsoka and Hayden, and I met even more online friends. It was great. Day three. Day three, I got there so much later because I wasn't going to the villains panel in the morning. I didn't have to do anything in the morning. The only thing I had to actually show up to was my photo op opportunity at, I think it was like a 1:20 or something like that. And I barely made it. Like I got there like just in time. I was, I think, the last group, the last person to meet them. But it was so cool meeting the Clone Wars trio. Ahsoka, aka Ashley Eckstein, loved my shirt. I told them that I had met them in Star Wars weekends back in the day. I'll show the pictures over here somewhere. But it was really cool. Sunday was pretty much a chiller day. I did a lot more swag exchanges. Like I brought stickers to pass out to people. And so I did a lot more of that day. And once again, no one checked badges. Day three, we were closer to the end by this point at this convention. No one checked badges. I will say the only thing that did suck is, so by day three, a lot of what was sold in the Celebration store was really sold out. I wanted to get the Return of the Jedi jacket, the jean jacket, and I should have gotten it on day one, but the line to get into the store was so long. But it was sold out, so you know what? I took a loss, and I was like, you know what? It's okay. It's all right. I will make peace with that. And then lastly, day four. So day four, a lot of my friends actually didn't go because they were exhausted. Because you know what? I'll tell you this: it is very exhausting, mentally and physically, to go to Celebration for 4 days in a row. So I totally get that. I totally respect that. Last day, me and my friend Autumn go because just wanted to wrap it out. And plus, I'm coming from the States. Like, I paid for my ticket. I'm gonna go. Like, this is, you know, something that I really wanted to come to, so I'm gonna make it an effort to go. So we went the last day, said our goodbyes, said my whoever I met throughout the convention, I said my goodbyes to. I handed them my swag. We took pictures together, and it was just a nice wrap up to the end of Celebration. And once again, not even once again, they finally checked badges. Like before we actually got into the center, they're just like, can you please have your badge on? And I'm just like, oh, that's so funny. That's so funny. You're doing this on the last day, not the first day. I mean, hell, I could have not had the Jedi Master badge, the VIP badge, and could have walked into VIP and nobody would have known. Literally. But I will say this, my overarching thoughts, or my overall thoughts about Star Wars Celebration. Number one, it's an experience every Star Wars fan needs to attend to. Try to do one at least once in your life. Next celebration will be in Japan in 2025, which I will be attending, and I will make sure I attend because, you know what, Japan's my dream place to go to, and Star Wars. But yeah, so it's gonna be in Japan next time. They're gonna do them so much more organized there. I know that because the Japanese don't mess around. But yeah, they did the announcements, and overall thoughts. Just go once in your life, enjoy, cosplay, meet people, be you. If you want to come as General Grievous with 7 sabers out of your back, be General Grievous with 7 sabers out of your back. Have the best time ever. Be prepared to just be on the fly for many things. I probably will say the best people that have the people that will have the best experience at Celebration are those with a Jedi Master VIP badge, because they are guaranteed seats at every single panel. So I will try my best, and I don't care how much money I have to save. I don't care how much things I have to sell to get a Jedi Master VIP badge, but I will get one. I will get one. I will get one for Celebration 2025. And yeah, so that's my experience. I miss it so much. I can't believe it's been a week. I can't believe a week ago today, I was with all my friends. It was the best time ever. I wish I could go back. And I really, really miss it. And with that being said, May the force be with you guys. I will see you on my next video, and hopefully that should be soon because I need to be making saber reviews. I actually have, since my last YouTube video, I think I have like 3 new sabers. So I need to make a review on that. So with that being said, I'll see you later, and may the force be with you again.